be saying, y'all take a second and ask yourself, is this reasonable? Because now you done been videotaped and it done went viral, and now you find yourself on the local news talking about you shamed your wife and your family.
I don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to Unreasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable.
I most certainly try to be. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you guys have had a reasonable time since the last time we did this. Now, on a scale from, quick story time, to, somebody tell me if I'm wrong. How reasonable have we been this week? So we doing it a little bit different this week. This week's episode is going to be slightly different. But before we even get into the differentness of the episode, I don't know if it's going, whatever. Let's talk about where you guys can see me, okay? First of all, you can watch my special. It's called Hijabs Off. It's only available on Prime Video. You got to stream it on Prime unless you have some sort of VPN. And if you do, then you can watch it some other way. Also, you can listen to it. You can stream it. You can listen to it and stream it like you stream music. You know what I'm saying? You want to listen to me driving in your car. You done ran out of episodes and you want to hear some jokes over and over and over again. Hijabs Off is available. Also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but years ago, I put out, a little bit earlier in my career, I put out a comedy album called Model Citizen. And so you can stream that as well. And that got some of the oldies but goodies on it too. Also on YouTube, besides enjoying this podcast and some of my stand-up clips that I post, you can also watch the Crowd Work Show, which is available. It's just an hour of me doing crowd work, you know. By the way, I am coming to London. I am coming to London July 21st through the 26th. And guess what? Those tickets are now on sale. I will be back at the Soho Theater, but here's the difference. Here is the difference. I'm doing all crowd work. Okay? So come with your suggestions. Come with what you want to talk about. Nothing is off limits, and it is all in service of you guys there. And guess what? I ain't even going to tell you. Get the tickets. I think it's 5 shows. 6 shows. 6 shows. And y'all know how I do. Once they go on, I'm not adding shows. So London, those tickets are officially on sale right now. The details, the link to get you to those tickets are in the details of this podcast. So all you got to do is just scroll down real quick. If you in London, or you going to be in London, or you want to be in London, or you know some people in London, go ahead and click on that link and get those tickets. Okay, this weekend, I'm going to be in Arlington, Texas. That's the Dallas area, okay? I'm going to be Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, wherever you are. Come see me. If you are in any of those areas or surrounding, come see me. I will be at the Arlington Improv this weekend, Friday through Sunday. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday, okay? May 2nd through the 4th. That is this weekend. Don't miss me. Okay, I hate when I be on my way Monday morning, going through TSA, tired, looking crazy, because y'all know I ain't washed my makeup off. Or looking fresh-faced, because I did wash my makeup off. And I be going through TSA, boarding my flight back to LAX, and then I get a notification. Oh my God, you was in Dallas? How did I not know? You know what? At this point, I don't even know. Anyway, I will be there this weekend, so come see me. Then May 23rd through the 24th. This is a new date. May 23rd through the 24th, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I ain't never been to Tulsa. I ain't never been to Oklahoma. May 23rd and 24th, though, will be my first time. And so if you are in Tulsa or know anybody in Tulsa, come see me and let me know where I can eat some food that I like. Not food that you like, not food that's the best food in the city if it's food that I don't like. If it's a smothered rib or a chocolate chip Snicker candy bar ice cream, that's fine. If they the best donuts in the city, but they ain't got gluten free, don't recommend it to me. Okay. No, if they the best donuts in the city and they not, I don't care. Tell me. Please tell me. I got to know. I got to know. May 30th for one night only, but 2 shows. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at May 30th. June 5th, St. Louis, Missouri. June 6th through the 8th, Kansas City, Missouri. June 13th and 14th, San Francisco, California. June 19th through the 21st, Baltimore, Maryland. June 27th and 28th, Tampa, Florida. July 18th and 19th, Stamford, Connecticut. July 18th and 19th, Stamford, Connecticut. Then I'm going to hop over to London. July 21st through the 26th. I'll be in London. Those tickets are on sale. Then I'll be somewhere else. We'll talk about that later. Then we're going to skip a little bit ahead. September 5th and 6th, I'll be in Seattle, Washington. September 7th, Portland, Oregon. September 26th and 27th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. October 10th and 11th, Cleveland, Ohio. October 17th through the 19th, West Nyack, New York. November 13th through the 15th, Houston, baby. November 21st and 22nd, Detroit, Michigan. December 5th through the 7th, Addisson, Texas. And then December 12th and 13th, Dayton, Kentucky, which is the Cincinnati area. So don't hit me and be like, oh, you could go to Dayton, but you can't come to Ohio. Because Dayton is literally 9.5 minutes from Cincinnati, and Cleveland is on the calendar. So who you talking to? And there's probably one person in Columbus like, well, actually, don't worry, Columbus, I'll be back. Like I said, the link to those tickets are in the details of the podcast. So go ahead, scroll down, get those tickets, okay? Also, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like if you like, share if you share. It's all appreciated. Love, love, love. Okay, so really quick, what's up with Z? I saw Sinners again. Loved it even more. Lost more sleep. Bags under my eyes. And the thing is, I was like, yeah, my friend was like, let's go see it at night. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I be scared, but I already saw it. It cost me like 72 hours. It cost me like not 72 hours, but 21 hours. Let's say I sleep 7 hours a night. I don't, but let's say I do for 3 nights. It cost me 21. Okay, let's be more realistic. I sleep about 6 hours a night. 6 times 3. Okay, it cost me 18 hours of sleep. But I'm like, I already saw it, so I ain't gonna be scared. So we go to see it in the evening, and I was scared. I got back home. When it was time to go to bed, I turned out all the lights, got in my bed, got right back out the bed, turned on the light. And did not sleep at all, actually. Sleep was very shallow. Anytime a bird chirped, I was like, they trying to come in? Was that reasonable for me to go see it again? I might go see it a third time. Now who's being reasonable? Yo, one of my favorite lines, spoiler alert, one of my favorite lines in the movie is when Stack was trying to convince Smoke to be with all the vampires. And of course, Annie convinced him not to go be with his brother. And spoiler alert, I said it. If you waiting for it to come on DVD, well, that's on you. It better not be one person listening like, well, actually, I have come across some financial difficulties and I have not been able to go see the movie. And so as much as I know you just being funny, I was technically trying to wait for it to come on DVD. And so I just want you to really be a bit more reasonable when you say things, humorously, because some people are really going through hardships in their life. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And if that is your story, send me a DM. I will treat you to see Sinners. But my favorite line is when Stack say, nigga ain't got no vision. Yo, when I tell you it just cracks me up. I think that's the line. Nigga ain't got no vision. It just cracks me up. Cause you know what? It seemed like one of them lines that wasn't written. It seemed like one of them lines that was improvised. Like it's like almost too good for the paper, but it may have been written and he just delivered it so superbly. Like I remember the first season of Upload. One of the lines that everybody, when we started doing press, everybody was asking me about. One of the lines that I had to say in the first season of Upload, and if you watch Upload, you know in the first season, I was a series regular, but I was not super prominent, right? And then the public really loved me, and then they allowed my character to grow, right? And wait till you see season 4. Anywho, so I remember in the first season, one of my lines was, "What is this my business?" Right? And I remember when I got on set, that was the only line. Like of the days that I was filming that particular day, I only went in to say that one line. So I went in because it's one scene. It's a whole big scene, but I only had one line in the scene, right? And so I go in when it's my time, and it's Upload, so I got to get all the way in wardrobe, makeup, hair, everything, right? And then I sit in the seat, so it's like, and I say the line, and then the director, Jeff, he was like, "I think we're good." After I said it one time, and I was like, "I could say it more." And he was like, "Unless you feel like you need to, but I got what I needed." And I was just like, "All right." Right? Because it's like, all right, well, then let me get up out of here. And then I remember when I started doing press, when we started doing press for the first season, it didn't matter if I was doing press like by myself or maybe just with like Kevin, or the actor that plays Luke, or if I was doing it just separately with like Andy who plays Nora, or the entire cast and like Greg Daniels. The interviewer will always be like, "So Zainab, are they just, you're a stand-up comedian. Like we are familiar with your comedy. We love your comedy. Like you're very funny. And so are they must be allowing you to like improvise on the show, because when you say certain lines, it's like there's no way that that's written." And then they would bring up that line, like when you said, "Is this my business?" Like that is every Black woman is asking herself. So you must have just said that, right? And I was like, I hate to break it to you, but no, that was written. That was on the page. I did not. I feel like I would have said that in the moment. That felt very right to say in the moment. That was maybe one of the easier lines for me to deliver, but it was definitely written on the paper. So I can't take credit for the writers doing a great job. Anywho, I think that's why it's like one of my favorite lines, because it's funny. The line from Sinners, they ain't got no vision, because it's so funny. But Michael B. Jordan as Stax delivers it so well. This time I saw it in a theater that was heavily occupied by the Asian population. And let me tell you something. Remember I said I wanted to see it with Black people, but I had to see it with the white people. Now I'm finding out that the white people, they louder than the Asian people, respectfully. Even the Asian people, when it was over, the scene, not the second scene that I realized now that I missed the first time, but the first scene at the end of the credits, the movie is not over. It's literally a story, like a plot point. It's literally like a story point in the movie. So when they was getting up, hurrying out the movie theater, because I just figured like, the word got back to like the Asian community. Like, hey, y'all, they got us representing in there too. And our ancestors too. So we got to go. I feel like the word traveled. But I'm sitting there because mine and my friend's seat was like a little bit near the where you go to like exit. And so when they was leaving, I was like, no, there's another, in true Black girl fashion, trying to help people out. But that's why a lot of times I'll be like, let me sit down and shut my ass up. But me really just not wanting them to miss out on just another good part of the movie. I was like, it's not over yet. They was like, yeah, it's not over yet means stop, turn around, and stand there and watch until the end. Or go back to your seat. But no, you're going to give me a thumbs up and just keep leaving the theater? For my lovely, lovely Asians watching, I don't care what your persuasion. I don't care if you Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Cantonese, you know what I'm saying, Filipino. Enter the chat, please, and let me know what's that about. Or am I being unreasonable by saying maybe it was just dumb people in that theater, but it was a huge IMAX theater in a big ass AMC. In a comfortable one, the seats that got the couch and all of, you know what I'm saying, where you recline and whatever. I think I'm gonna go see it for a third time. But I gotta see it with black people. I don't know if I'm gonna have. Is it unreasonable for me to fly to Atlanta or Philadelphia? I need to go to a theater that guarantee black people. My friend said he saw it in Jersey. And we was like discussing notes because I told him this was before I saw it the other night. Again, the second time, I was like, yeah, I was with white people and they was white. He was like, what you mean? I was like, tell me a part of the movie. He was like, yeah, because I saw it in Jersey and it was all black people when I watched it. And I was like, oh, this is a PSA. This remind me because he said, he said the interesting thing about black people, and my friend is black, and he said this about us. And he was like, I was flying back from Dubai. He was flying back from Dubai. And he got right off the plane. He checked before he got on the flight. So he checked the day before to see if there were seats for this theater. And he said it was almost empty. The theater was almost empty, right? He was like, it was maybe like 20% full. He said when he landed, he went to choose his seats. He went to buy the tickets and choose his seats. He landed at Newark Airport and went right to the IMAX theater. This is how strong word of mouth is, by the way. This is why it matters when artists say, share my work. Or if you like me, if you appreciate me, you have to tell somebody. I'm telling you, word of mouth is much stronger than any commercial a person can make, any text that any sort of commercial marketing that can be done. Word of mouth is the thing that sells people. Sometimes I put. Remember when I was talking about what's that movie with what was the movie it kept getting worse? What's the boy's name? Who's a really good actor? But don't nobody want to see him right now, and probably for the foreseeable future because they don't think his apology. Who is the boy? The man. I'm sorry, the man. Jonathan Majors. I had posted on Instagram that little clip where I was like, it gets worse. You thought it couldn't get no worse. It got worse. On Tuesday, it was worse. Wednesday, it was worse. Thursday, it was worse. Friday, it was worse. Saturday, it was worse. It was so bad we couldn't even get to something. I posted that clip. It was still people in my comments said, well, damn, now I got to see it. I'm telling you, when we relay our experience to something, whether it's good, different things sway people. Something could be really good and the person is like, okay, you sold me on it. Something could be so bad to you and somebody will be like, well, dang, I got to see if it's that bad. So it really does. Anywho, so I'm talking to my friend. He is in Dubai. That means when I called him to talk about Sinners, it was probably like 4:00 in the morning for him. Okay. And I'm going on and on and on about this movie without trying to spoil it from him. So I must have relayed my passion, my delight with this film. I must have relayed it so strongly that he like, oh, okay, we about to do the show tonight. I'm getting on the flight. And then I'm getting off the flight and I'm going to see Sinners. So he said when he landed at Newark, he went right to the AMC theater. He went right to the IMAX theater. And when he got there, so this is like 24 hours. This is about 24 hours later, maybe even less than that, right? He goes to the theater and the theater was like, he said he got there maybe like 2 hours before the film. He said because he knew if he would have went home, he would have fell asleep. So he went right to the theater. So he got there like 2 hours before. And he said the theater was like 60% full. And he was like, oh, shoot, I just looked at this before I got on the flight. And it was like, it was almost empty. And then he said the girl who was working at the theater was like, yeah, well, And he was like, no, I don't know. And she was like, you know how we do. And he was like, what you mean? And she was like, we buy stuff last minute. And so then he said he called his two friends, his two like other, girlfriends, friends who are women. And he was like, hey, I'm at the theater. Y'all get in an Uber, come meet me. Let's go see Sinners if y'all haven't seen it already. And it was like, okay, cool. He said that was maybe like 15, 20 minutes later. He said that he called them. By the time they got there, let's say now this is like an hour before the film, he said then the theater was packed. Then almost all the seats was taken up. At that same time, while he's telling me that, a very funny comedian friend of mine, Hassan Fields, who's a Canadian Toronto comedian based out of Toronto, and he just got his visa to do like an American tour, and he had posted a video saying like, hey y'all, I had to cancel the Chicago show because we didn't sell enough tickets. And it's like when you in a certain venues, like before the promotion company or whatever that's doing the show, sometimes they be like, oh, let's call it, enough tickets ain't sold. And he was trying to tell them like, no, listen, my people, they buy tickets last minute. Just, I'm telling you, it's going to sell out day of. It's going to sell out. But they canceled the show. They didn't give him the opportunity to show what his people do. So the reason why I say that is if you are one of them people, I don't care what your makeup is. I don't care if you black or not. I don't care if you old or young. I don't care where in the world you located. Be the leader. Be the leader, not the follower. Be early to the party. The proverbial party. You know what I'm saying? Get my tickets when I first announced them. Don't wait until, oh my God, the day I get there, I just went to buy the tickets and they sold out. No, you be the one to get the tickets as soon as I post them. And then you tell everybody, I don't know where y'all gonna be, but I know where I'ma be. Anywho, so he said that at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, fast forward like 3 minutes or something. He said at the end of the movie, right when it seemed like that the KKK man about to live, and then he don't, and then Smoke, shoot him. He said the whole theater was clapping. I said, oh, I was with the white people the whole theater when that happened. They was hemming and hawing and hugging themselves. They was shaking back and forth like they had just witnessed some sort of abuse. The Asians was just like, anywho, okay, Z main topics. Okay, so I'm be very honest with y'all in Z main topics. We not doing anything pop culture today. We are not doing anything surrounding a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? No celebrity dumb shit. We not doing no political poison today. We are doing TikTok stories. I just be scrolling on TikTok sometimes, and TikTok is good for, okay, y'all, tell me if I'm wrong. And like most times when they tell a story, they wrong, but whatever. Or it's like, or they'll be like, okay, so quick story, whatever. And I find myself watching someone tell a story that I am not invested in. I mean, I'm invested for like the 90 seconds or the 3 minutes of the story, but I'm not invested in the characters. I'm not invested in their life. I'm not even concerned with a part two. But because here's the thing, people be like, oh, let me tell you how my hair let me tell you why my hair looked like this 2 hours before my wedding. And it's like, oh girl, I'm in. Why do your hair look like that 2 hours before your wedding? And then they be like, part one. I'll watch the whole part one and I will not go to part two. Now, part two, because the way TikTok is set up, will come to me. But if TikTok don't send it to me, I'm not going to find it, right? Anywho. There be so many scenarios on there. When I be scrolling, I be like, this is so unreasonable. Well, no, that was reasonable. Like, I just be having a conversation with myself. And so this week when I was scrolling, I found like so many in a row. I said, I got to take this to the reasons and let us decide together if these strangers on TikTok are reasonable or not. Okay, so the first one actually does come from a wedding. The first one comes from a woman who was asked to leave a wedding.
So I am currently sitting in my car because I came 2 hours to a wedding for one of my husband's friend, and we have been here literally like a total of 15 minutes, and the bride comes up to me and tells me that my outfit is inappropriate for her wedding, and that was a supposed dress code that I didn't know existed. Because I never got a wedding invitation mailed to my house. It was a text message that my husband received. But in 2025, is this what brides do to their guests now? You walk up to your guests and tell them that the outfit they're wearing is not appropriate for their wedding. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I've been married for 11 years, so this is what we do to our guests. I'm kind of disappointed, and I'm really ready to go home.
I'm going to be very honest. I don't know why she's not already home. Yeah, this is. I don't care how long you've been married. This is what some brides do to their guests because, hello, there was an entire show called Bridezilla. There was an entire show that capitalized, that made money, that promoted brides being awful to people surrounding the day of their wedding. But you better than me. You better than me. Now, I don't know. I think that I'm not sure how the wires got crossed, right? I don't know how. Maybe your husband dropped the ball. Because if your husband, if these are friends of your husband's, you know what I'm saying? And there was a dress code, maybe he didn't tell you and he was supposed to tell you. But, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's like a drone that's coming down or that's going to be floating above taking a picture of the entire wedding. I don't think you need to be in a specific dress code if you are not a part of the bridal party. That would be my thought. But it's her party and she could cry if she want to, right? And what I mean by that is, yeah, it's her party and she could ask anybody who she wants to leave. Guess what? Get up out of there. Get up out of there. Take your presents and your present. And go to a restaurant and have you a good, I don't know what time the wedding is, but you look like you dressed for the daytime. Go find you your favorite brunch spot in your area and go have brunch. You and your husband. I was so confused by this because I'm like, why is she sitting waiting in her car? I think a lot of people was confused by this because like when I first watched it, she had like, I don't know, 5,000, like now she's up to like 1 million views or something like that, right? But over 1 million views because it is strange. It's like, okay, they told you to leave and now you just waiting in your car. She told you 20 minutes ago to leave and you waiting in your car. What you waiting in your car for? Girl, if you don't get up out of there, go home, take that bra off and relax. Take that, go pick up them pancakes to go. Take your behind home, put your feet up, take that bra off and turn on your favorite show. Was it a Sunday? Because I'm Reasonable with streaming live. Shameless plug. But yeah, people, here's the thing. When people are unreasonable, you ain't got to stay there and take it. I'm not about to fight with no bride. I don't care for whatever reason a bride is telling me to leave. And I don't care who the bride is. The only time I feel like I would be severely hurt or maybe try to fight it is like, is it my daughter? Is it my daughter? You know what I'm saying? Is it my daughter that's getting married? And it's like, dang, I'm your mom. I'm your mother. I would like to be a part of this. But I feel like I'm not if it come out of nowhere, then yeah, I'm probably going to be confused. But we tend to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth, even if we don't tell the truth. So I'd imagine, because I imagine if Allah blesses me to have a daughter, I imagine I'll raise a very reasonable daughter. So if my very reasonable daughter is like, and you need to leave now, I'm going to just have to accept that future me done did something to mess up. You see me giving my daughter that ain't even here the benefit of the doubt over my future self? Because I'm confident that my future self is going to raise a reasonable enough child. This is the Matrix. I can't even keep track of this analogy at this point. But anybody else, anybody, best friend, sister, cousin, soror. I ain't even a part of a sorority, but I'm trying to give y'all the examples you need. Peer, colleague, whoever, friend of a friend of my husband or my boyfriend, I don't care. If the moment I get to the party, you need to leave and have a good luck. Bye. It ain't even got to be a wedding. It could be Thanksgiving. It could be whatever you want it to be. This is your festivity and you don't want me here. They say that, what Chris Brown said, deuces. Yeah, I'm up out of here. I ain't about to fight with nobody no. And then this is something, you be mad if nobody showed up. Then you would be asking me with my wrong dress code to stay. But oh yeah, I'm so sorry. This is your day. And see, as she said, I've been married for 11 years. I do not need to be here. I was at the only wedding that is important to me, mine. I don't need to be here. Let me get up out of here. Now, I'm just going to say that maybe she in the car waiting for her husband or something like that. Like, I think she said that these was her husband's friends. So, maybe she just waiting. But I would have made the video too, but I would have made the video from the International House of Pancakes. I'd have been like, y'all, why I went to a wedding 2 minutes ago and now why I showed up to a wedding at 10 o'clock and now it's 10:07 and the lady bringing me my pancakes. Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you. As I'm drizzling the syrup, telling the story. So I showed up to this lady wedding, right? And she talking about it's a dress code. This is me still drizzling the syrup. Now I'm cutting the pancakes. And she gonna say that I can't, it was a dress code and then I gotta leave. So I came to get some pancakes. And then that's my TikTok. What y'all think? Do you think it's unreasonable for a bride to tell their guests if they are not dressed in the appropriate colors that they cannot attend the wedding? I personally think it's a tacky thing to do, but there's so many things in life that I don't agree with that people do, and I feel like they have the right to do it. Because that don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not a threat, a danger to public safety, you just like an asshole or just like a B. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You just a B-I-T. You know what I'm saying? You just, who you calling her? You know what I'm saying? You just spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Now you just got to watch and this is the most unreasonable thing I'm going to say because this is so petty. Now you just got to watch and see if the marriage going to last. Then when they get divorced, you got to show up and be like, now, is there a dress code for the courthouse? Okay, so the next one was a friend talks about his brother or his friend. I couldn't really, he was going back and forth. I don't know. It wasn't clear when I first watched the video. But this guy talks about his brother and or his friend who got pranked on a date. Okay.
This past weekend, I witnessed some corny shit. So my brother decided to take this young lady out, on a date. And, he saw value in trying to build that relationship. He took the young lady out on a date. Everything's going good. But unknowing to him, the young lady's friends was at the bar recording the date. They was recording the date. They was, sending drinks to the table to the young lady as if it was a man sending drinks to the table. Just really disrespecting my homie. And just recording and making jokes throughout the date. We later find that they posted this video on TikTok. And I just want to say that it's corny, it's childish. We grown, man. We 30, 31, and, niggas is really trying to be intentional. But when you do shit like that and you're corny like that, it makes it hard for us to take women serious. It makes it hard, man. I mean, that's really, truly corny and childish, man. And it's one of those situations where it's like, what's the point? What's the point, man? When women is doing shit like that, it's corny, man. So I'm asking y'all to just stop that. If that's a trend that y'all trying to start, please stop that shit because it's the corniest shit in the world, man. It's corny.
I agree with this man. I think that's very corny. It actually don't make sense to me. Y'all see why I was like, I don't know if it's his brother or his friend, because at one point he was like, my brother went on a date, and then he said the homie. I never in my life referred to my brother as the homie. But maybe he is the homie, but when he started it, he was, maybe whatever. Maybe he meant like brother, like brethren, right? Anywho, that's neither here nor there. But so if you guys didn't understand that, he said that his friend went on a date with a woman, and the reason why he went on a date is because he saw value there. I thought that was an interesting way that he said that, right? Like, he didn't go on a date because he got to know her. He didn't go on a date because he was looking for a good time. He went on a date because he felt like there was value. Like, I guess he felt like she was worth, the investment. Like, he was going to try and build a relationship. It's just, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he said. I just think that I think it's fine to just say he went on a date. I think the date I think him actually going on a date implies that there's some interest there. I don't know. It was a bit hoteppy for me. Anywho, I am probably just nitpicking because it's a man doing a video with his shirt off. But his homie went on a date, and the girl's friends was at the bar, and they kept sending over drinks to her as if it was another man. And he's saying that's corny. And they was recording it. And I think he said they posted the video, right? Now, TikTok ain't show me this video. Now, that's the one time where I wish TikTok was like, here's the other part of that. Because I don't see the point. Do you guys see the point? Let me know. Have you guys ever heard of this happening? Well, here's the thing. The beautiful part of it is if that was happening and the girl did nothing about it, then he found out in that date, I thought there was value here, but it ain't no value here. That's the thing about like interactions, right? It's like, especially like romantic interactions. Sometimes we take one interaction and we make it cover everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's actually the whole point of dating. The point of dating is let me see what being around you is like. Let me see what you offer. Let me see what you about. Let me see what you talking about. Let me see the things that you like to eat. Let me see how you behave. Let me see how you carry yourself. Let me see how you put yourself together. You get what I'm saying? That's the whole point of dating. And so he found out in that moment, oh, this is a girl whose friends either have no respect for her or no interest in her possible happiness. Or she's a girl that is, with the shenanigans as well, and only came here to waste my time, which is disrespectful and disheartening. And I'm going to let her know that as I pay the bill and end the night And that's just that. I have this joke that I do sometimes in my set. I talk about going on a date, and although I didn't like the guy, I gave him a good date because I believe that you got to keep the nice ones nice. That's the premise of the joke. It gets much funnier from there. But I always say that whenever I say, because I feel like you got to keep the nice ones nice. For the most part, most of the audience, men and women, are like, yes. Yeah, because we do understand that our experiences are the things that teach us. So if a man is constantly being played by women, that's his experience, and his experience is going to inform how he deals with women. Well, they always be playing me, so let me do something, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If a woman is in situations where men have only disrespected her, only disregarded her, then those experiences, they inform her behavior. This is like a natural human thing. You know who you gotta be? You gotta be God. You gotta be God. I wouldn't even say a prophet. To keep having the same bad experiences over and over and over and still be like, but nope, I'm going to wipe the slate clean and treat everybody. Like, that's a very difficult thing to do. So when I say you got to keep the nice ones nice, because we also know it's a lot of guys out here that are not nice. For whatever reason, I'm sure they villain got an origin story. But I ain't trying to turn the ones that ain't a villain into a villain. So whenever I say that, there'll be women like, yeah. There'll even be men in the audience like appreciative, like that's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. Then you have a few people. You got a few. You have a few women like, shit. No, I can't do nothing for And I'm sure that response that comes from those women are because they've been in some shit with guys and they can't give men no grace no more. So if I don't know why, like I feel like he told the story, but I feel like he told one side of the story. If what he described to us is in fact exactly what happened, that's real corny. And if you a girl, if you a woman, I don't care what your age is, and you like this is childish behavior in the worst possible way. Also, I'm glad his brother homie wasn't crazy. It's some people they can't even handle stuff like that. I couldn't be on a date with a guy. And first of all, why are your friends? I don't even care that your friends. We ain't even got to the part where your friends is sending you stuff to the table, where your friends are sending you drinks. Why are we at the same location as your friends? Yeah. Especially as a woman, I instantly feel unsafe. If a woman has her girlfriends at a date, that I understand a little bit more, but not really what you don't feel. If you don't feel safe, why'd you go out with him? Share your location. Take a picture of who he is. Send them his license. Do all of those things. But if they gotta be at the restaurant with you, why are you even going out with him? Also, I like to do, sometimes I do things for a story. Sometimes I live on the edge. Sometimes I go right, knowing right is like, ooh, it look a little bit suspect down there. But I don't know. I don't really have the time in my life to, that seems like a colossal waste of not just the guy's time, but my time. Who is this from? Joseph. Who is Joseph? So ladies, if you are doing that, cut it out. Cut it out. Okay, next one. Okay, so this is a little bit longer. So maybe we'll watch this on double speed. So basically this video is a long distance friend that wouldn't pay hundreds of dollars to attend a birthday brunch with her friend. Okay?
Tell me if I'm wrong or not. Enough time has passed and nothing has changed, so I'm trying to figure out, am I the problem? I'm not going to make this no long story where there's a person. I'm going to give it to you short and sweet. I'm not doing all the extra details. If there's any questions, you can ask a question, but I'm just trying to get this to the point. So I have a friend that lives clear across the country. I'm in Los Angeles. She's in Maryland. For her birthday, she was planning a brunch, like at her house, like a catered brunch at her house. And she's like, oh, I want you to come. Of course I'm going to come. I love birthdays. I do birthdays up. I love birthdays. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come. As time approaches, this is actually beginning of March, so time's approaching, but it's still over a month away. I look at flights. The flights to Maryland are like $500, $600. I've flown to Maryland multiple times. I've never paid that much. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's a lot. So we have another friend. We have a mutual friend that's in Los Angeles that would also have been flying to Maryland for her birthday. So I reached out to her. She lives in Maryland. I'm like, girl, or she's from Maryland. I reached out to her. I'm like, girl, how do you get into Maryland? Because these prices are crazy. Are they not? She's like, no, yeah, they are really crazy. Probably because it's Easter weekend. I had no idea. I don't have kids. I don't do Easter egg hunts. I'm not a teacher. I don't get the day off of work. Like, Easter, I don't go to church. Nothing in my mind said, oh, that's Easter weekend. So I made zero correlation. Anyways, tickets are $500, $600. I'm telling Shorty, like, yeah, bro, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it because $500, $600 to sit in your living room for a catered brunch. Like, are we doing anything else? Like, it was just brunch. She texted me one day and was like, hey, I've been looking at the flights, and Southwest has something for like $450 and Delta has one for whatever the price was, still too high. And I just texted her back like, yeah, girl, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. Like, that's steep. So she goes, bummer. Okay. I go on about my day. I didn't think too much of that. I'm like, bummer. Okay, like, okay, cool. She's not tripping too much. I thought she was gonna be sad. She's not really tripping. Go on about my day. Now, as time goes on, I go on as normal. I'm like sending her memes. I'm sending her TikToks. I'm chilling. I'm doing what I normally do. And I realized like, damn, she's not sending me nothing back. She's not laughing, nothing. So I go look at her DMs. She's not even opening my messages. So I'm like, okay, let me reach out to her. I text her. I'm like, hey girl, are you mad? Like, what's tea? And then I get that long. I just think it's funny how long message. And I'm like, wait. First of all, I never said I was not coming. I just wanted the prices to be lower. I'll wait till like the week before and see, whatever. And she's like, oh, well, you were talking to other people about it and you already told such and such you weren't going to go and you waited to the last minute and you could have communicated better and blah, blah, all of this stuff. And I'm just like, for one, I never said no. I never, ever said I wasn't going. Even with the other person, I never said I wasn't going. I'm the type of person, I'll wait until like the week before. Because sometimes the prices go down. Like right before you're trying to go, closer to the date that you're trying to go, the flight goes down. So I was trying to wait till closer to the date. And then I'll say definitively like, okay, yeah, no. Or I might just bite the bullet because I go out for people's birthdays. Like birthdays, I feel a way about that. Like that's your one special day. If it was still $500, I'm like, all right, bitch, we might have to put it on Klarna or something, but I'm gonna come. But it was like the way she went about addressing me. Even after that, when she's going off, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt that way. Whenever you come back to LA, like I'll go out. We can go out on me. We can do whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. Like you're good. And then she made a comment like, oh, well, she used to live in LA. She moved to Maryland like recently. So she's like, oh, I just think that it should be fair. Like I should fly to LA to hang out with you and you should fly to Maryland to hang out with me. And it should be like equal effort. Mind you, she's a flight attendant. So it's not equal effort. No matter which way you slice it or dice it, you will always fly for free. I will always come out of pocket. She basically was like, no, like fuck that. And then ended it by saying, I'm done talking about this. Like, I'm literally trying to be considerate of her feelings. I'm trying to be considerate of the fact that it's her birthday. I'm trying to be considerate of the fact that she's upset. And she gonna say, I'm done talking about this. To know me is to know that was not gonna go well. Like, why am I tripping? Why is it okay for you to just go off like that and then be like, oh, I'm done talking? Who are you think you're done talking to? Whatever. I love the message and we just have not talked since. Her birthday comes, I tell her happy birthday, she says thank you, and then still we have not talked. We still haven't talked to this day. You're not considering the fact that the flight alone is $500. So what about the Uber from the airport? Or while I'm in Maryland, what if I want to do something else? What if we go out to eat? What if you want to go to the club? What if there's other things? The flight alone is $500. That's not appealing to me. I don't want to do that. But when I told her that, then she's like, oh, I don't know how elaborate the birthday needs to be for you to come out here, da, da, da. It's not about how elaborate the birthday is. It's about how much money I'm spending. What? Anyways, fast forward, because that was like about 2 months ago now. So at this point, her birthday has come and gone. I text her. We still were not talking the whole time. I text her happy birthday. She says thank you. And then now back to like not speaking to each other. I don't play that shit, bro. We're grown. Like, what are we doing? Are we not friends anymore? Like, just say I don't want to be friends with you. You're mad because I didn't go to your birthday? I'm mad that you felt entitled to my money. I'm mad that you thought that was okay to even be mad about. $500 just to get there. Okay, anyways, back to the question. Am I wrong? Am I supposed to reach out to her? I already apologized. Like, oh, I didn't know you were going to feel that way. I apologize if it hurt your feelings. I hope you understand. Like, that's just too much money. Am I supposed to fucking, what the fuck?
Let me just say, I didn't know you were going to feel that way is not an apology. We're so emboldened in our cars, right? Like I could tell when she was telling the story that her confrontation with her friend, when they talk it out, it's just not going to be that way, right? I could just tell because we are able to tell our true feelings to usually not to the person that we're feeling that way about. This is everybody. Most people are not exempt from this, right? But yes. Yeah, girl, you part of the problem. You may not be the whole problem, but you're a part of the problem because, first of all, you saying you're mad that she felt entitled to your money. She did not feel entitled to your money. But for reasons that are very reasonable, which is, we don't have to talk about, you ain't never paid that much for a flight. It don't matter if I ain't never paid that much for a flight. What matters is, can I afford this flight for this occasion? Yeah, everything's going up. So you're going to pay, all of us, we're going to pay a lot more today than we paid yesterday for certain things. So it's not about, I ain't never paid this much to go to Baltimore. That's not what's in question. You got to be real with yourself. And I'm not trying to say that this girl doesn't have anything. I'm just saying that it ain't about the flight. It's about what you are willing to pay to celebrate, to get to her to celebrate her birthday. And then to say for just a brunch, like at your house. Wait a minute. Are you sorry or not? Do you want me to have a happy birthday or not? Are you my friend or not? Because why are you belittling my celebration when you retell your story? And here's why I know that she's a big part of this problem. And I say this respectfully, I don't know this woman. But whenever we're telling a story and we still seem like the villain when we telling our side of the story, if you telling your side of the story and you not making yourself and you still sounding, unless you're a person, and very few people are like this, that just tell the truth regardless of how it makes them look, when nobody else is around, when nobody is there to hold them accountable. There are very few people like that. There are very few moments like that where somebody doesn't our perspective. That's why they say there's 3 sides to a story. 1 side, 2 side, 3rd side is the truth. So I'm sure the other friend, she probably telling the story on her TikTok in a whole nother way. But this girl, I could tell you part of the problem because you don't even sound right as you telling the story and you telling it from your perspective. Ain't nothing wrong with you not being able to make it to your friend's birthday. I don't care if she was having a brunch in her house. I don't care if she was having a boat party off the Amalfi Coast. I don't care. If it's not within your budget to do that, if you like, girl, I'm sorry, this one I can't put on Klarna. If you don't know what, I believe Klarna is like, basically like credit, I think, but not a credit card. It's like the internet's version of like you get to pay in installments, I think. I think that's what it is. It's basically like how like, I think in the 90s it was like layaway. You put some money down. Or no, because I think layaway you couldn't. I never did layaway because I think we was even too poor for layaway. But I used to want to do it. But I think you can't get the stuff until you pay in full. But I think Klarna and apps and programs like Klarna is you pay you get the thing like the airline ticket, but you just have to pay for it a little bit over time. So basically like credit. But yeah, if this ain't the trip for you to be putting something on, like don't do it. But here's why you're the problem. Because you told us the problem, but you never once said a solution. Are we not friends now? You got to ask your friend, not the internet. Not the internet. I mean, you got to, I mean, is that, we haven't talked to, she not responding. Yeah, she's not responding because her feelings are probably hurt. I don't even know. But everything you ask the viewing public, you have to ask your friend. And when she tells you, like, oh, yeah, I didn't like that you did this, you have to receive that. And then truly, if you are apologetic, then truly apologize. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there for you when you wanted me to be there for you. I'm sorry that, and because to apologize does mean that you have to be vulnerable in ways sometimes that we don't want to be. Sometimes you do have to say, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there for you because I could not afford it. Don't nobody want to say, especially, You know, when you be talking to your camera in a car, that's very egotistical. Don't nobody want to say. And again, I'm saying this respectfully. I don't know this woman. I don't know her financial situation. I don't know. I'm not speaking. I'm not judging it. But I mean, sometimes sometimes people tell me. Sometimes people, you know, I'm not sure if this person watches Unreasonable, but I had someone come to message me and tell me that they really wanted to see me perform, but they just didn't have the money to come see me perform. They didn't have ticket money. And in retrospect, in hindsight, rather, I wish that I would have inquired a little bit more, because I didn't really get to take care of them in the way that I would have if I had all the information. So I leave them tickets to the show. They come to the show, and they're actually, everybody knows, maybe everybody doesn't know because they had never been to a comedy show before. But typically when you go to a comedy club, there's a forced 2-drink minimum or item minimum, meaning you have to purchase 2 things. If you don't know this about comedy clubs, they really just like respectfully shitty restaurants with entertainment. Where the club makes most of their money is the food and beverage. They don't make the money off it's rare that the club is making the money off the comic. It's rare. Where they make their money is off the food and the beverage. And so they enforce that. That's why sometimes you get free tickets to a comedy club. They rather get you in the door free because they got to sell the food and the beverage. So I leave 2 tickets for the show, and they come to the show, and they were pulled out the show. Now I'm on stage, so I don't see this. I find out all at the end. The manager comes to me and says, "Hey, are these your people?" I was like, "Well, I've never met them before, but I left them tickets to the show. Is everything okay?" And he was like, and when somebody says like, are these your people? I don't know if they asking like, so if they could come in the green room, stuff like that. That's why I was very clear. Like, well, I haven't met them before, but yes, I did leave them comp tickets to the show. But that's why I'm inquiring further. Why? What happened? So the manager is like, oh, well, they wouldn't put in an order for any food or beverage. And I was like, I would have got them with, whatever they need. And he was like, yeah, I told them they had to at least like get 2 bottles of water. And I was like, did they get 2 bottles of water? And he was like, no, that's why I had to pull him out the show. Like he said that he didn't have it at all. Like he would, but he literally did not have it. Y'all, I felt terrible. I felt so terrible that I messaged the person. I felt so terrible that I messaged the person and was like, hey, the manager just told me what happened. I'm so sorry. I was unaware. I wish that I had known, because I would have made sure that y'all was taken care of. I would have made sure I would have paid for any of the food, any of the drinks. I would have made sure if I had known. I'm so sorry. I never want somebody to have that experience at my show, ever, especially if their desire to see me is so strong, but their situation in life just at that moment just doesn't service it. I never want that to be the case. So I'm like, send me your Cash App or whatever. Let me buy you, because they expressed like their embarrassment, their like everything, just awful. And I'm like, well, let me buy you lunch. Let me send you like, this is somebody I never met before. Somebody who's just a supporter of my comedy. I'm like, please, let me send you lunch. Let me send you, give me a Cash App or something. Let me buy you lunch, or, let me make it up to you. And they didn't let me. They were like, no. I just, just thank you so much. And just, this was the thing. And it's what, I felt so bad. But I mean, that is the situation sometimes in life. Sometimes you just can't do it. And sometimes it is just about the money. But where ego comes in, where she's telling the story, it's like, well, girl, if you fly here, everything is on me. Well, you sure? Because if I fly there and I want to go everywhere and it's on you, well, maybe I'll rack up that $600 that you didn't want to pay for the flight. That's why it's like we have to be very careful about what we're saying, how we're saying it. So yeah, girl, you the problem because all you had to do was be transparent, vulnerable, and empathetic with your friend. And you would have been like, oh, you having it? Oh man, well, I hate that I have to miss it. Those flights, you could even say what you said, which is I ain't never paid that much to get to Baltimore. Or wherever she was going. I'm so sorry, girl. I ain't never paid that much to get to Baltimore or DC. You a flight attendant. Do you have like a voucher you can give me? I would love to be there. If not, I'm so sorry, but I'm a FaceTime. Do you mind if I FaceTime so I can say hi and see what y'all doing real quick while you doing it? Maybe what's on the menu? Maybe I'll make it and then you can FaceTime me and I'm going to be eating I'm going to be eating my brunch too. That's what friends do. Friends are proactive when they can't show up. Friends are solution oriented. When there's real love there, when there's genuine care there, friends figure out a way to express that love. Even if they physically can't be there for you. So now after 2, you done figured it out. She is her passive aggression is very clear. She ain't opening your messages. Yes, is she the problem too? Because she's just being passive aggressive? Yes. But instead of you coming to the public, instead of you coming to TikTok to ask, are you the problem? You know you the problem if you got to ask the question. Just call your friend and say, hey, I noticed that you're not. You could just say it. You ain't even got to ask. Because these questions are rhetorical at this point. You know the answer. Hey, girl, I see that you haven't opened my message. We haven't been communicating the way we normally communicate. This is all stemmed from the birthday, me not showing up for the birthday. I wanted to apologize to you. You know, I'm sorry that I couldn't be there for you. This is why those flights were too steep for me, girl. I am so sorry. And I should have expressed that. I should have given you a definitive answer. Whether it was 3 weeks in advance or last minute, I should have given you a definitive answer and let you know. Because your expectations were, at least for me to be there or for me to communicate clearly with you. And I'm so sorry, and I enjoy our friendship, and I hope that we can get past this. Is this something you think we could get past? Because when we get off the phone, I'd like to know if we're going to jump back into our regularly scheduled program, or is there still going to be some sort of like on the low aggression, some on the low like, hate. What y'all think? What y'all think? Who's unreasonable in this scenario? What y'all think? Who's unreasonable in this scenario? Okay, in true TikTok form, even when you ain't looking for a part two is going to come to you most times. So the lady that was at the wedding and got sent home because her dress code wasn't up to standard is a part two. And lo and behold, I scrolled long enough for TikTok to give me the part two.
Okay, so part two, because you got a lot of questions, and okay, so part two, because y'all got a lot of questions, and I was 5011 hot when I recorded that video, the first one. So I don't know if you can tell, but I was 5011 hot. But so part two. So let me give you guys some backstory about this. So first of all, I don't know the bride. I know the groom. The groom is friends of my husband's from 20 years. So he's been a friend of my husband's for 20 years. Can't get my words out. So I don't know the bride at all. And so prior to me, so they were standing in the middle of the room and my husband was with them. I was sitting in the back with my kids. And so I was like, oh, well, let me get up and go say hi to them. So I get up and to walk over, my husband had already been there. And without her even greeting me, there was no formal or proper, there wasn't a hi, hello, how are you? This is who I am. Because like I said, I don't know who the bride is at all. She never introduced herself. She never said, hi, who are you? What's your name? None of that. Literally, I walked over and she said, let me say something. Your outfit is inappropriate. It doesn't match the dress code. There was a dress code. And I asked for people to wear these specific colors that she listed, nothing white. And then finished with, typically, I would send people home, but since you came from far, then I'll let you stay. Let me stay. Okay. So also, what I didn't know happened is prior to me walking up to where they were, she had already said something to my husband. He and I match. We coordinate whenever we go out. So he's in a pink shirt. He had on a pink tie. He's in a navy blue suit. So prior to me walking up, she said something to him about him in his pink shirt and his pink tie and asked him to take off his tie. So I didn't know this had even happened before I walked up. And then she had the nerve to say this to me. So I'm not going to stay in situations like that. So I left. I walked out of the venue. Thankfully, my kids were with somebody I could trust who was there at the wedding that I know. But I walked out because I was 50-11 hot because that was rude. You didn't say anything. Like, it was just so rude to me that you didn't even formally or properly introduce yourself to me before making that statement. So anyway, so we left. So yeah, no, we did not stay. My husband apparently was also out of dress code because, like I said, we coordinated our outfits, so we matched. And so he was out of dress code as well. And so we left, and we are at Buc-ee's, guys. There's a Buc-ee's that was about an hour away, so we're hanging out at Buc-ee's for the time being. So we just made out a trip out of it. But yeah, I guess there's a first for everything. I have never, ever in my life ever been kicked out of an event for wearing something inappropriate. But I guess there's a first for everything. So there you go. There's a backstory that, yeah, I didn't know her at all. I know the groom, but good luck, because it was rude. So let me also say this, for somebody who's been studying Korean for a year, I'm just disappointed I didn't use it. I know half of the curse words. I'm just disappointed I'm disappointed in a lot of stuff. I'm disappointed I didn't use it in that moment.
You know, this is something that y'all should appreciate, the art of storytelling. You see in this story, it's like, so y'all, first of all, so you went to the wedding. Because the only time where everybody, the guest, sees the bride is after the, right? Don't nobody see the bride before the bride walked down the aisle. So in the first video, it seemed like you got there and you couldn't attend the wedding because you wasn't, but it's like, no, you attended the wedding. So now it's post-nuptials. It's post I do jump the broom. You can now kiss the bride, whatever happens at the wedding. It's post-ceremony. And you go up to her, your husband should have texted you like, okay, just so FY, just so you know. And especially because the bride is your husband, is the wife now of your husband's friend. So your husband knows how she is. So your husband should have texted you like, yo, just real quick, just FYI, she's on a rampage. Cause we don't look like, old boy ain't tell me that there was a dress code. And so, you know what I'm saying? She got a problem with us having on the white, the blue, and the pink. So just FYI, but just be cool about it. But you left your kids with somebody that you could trust at the wedding. Y'all at Buc-ee, I imagine that's a franchise wherever she's at. But the art of storytelling, so you got up out of here. Are your kids still at the wedding? Are your kids still at the wedding? Also, somebody tell me, what is 50-11 hot? Because she kept saying that she was 50-11 hot. That's why she stepped outside. But here's the thing. You know how I say, yo, when we get in our car, when we be telling the story to other people, we get so egotistical. It's like we get so, there's something where but you see how she made herself the hero in the story. At least she did that. Yeah, because I didn't like what she said. She didn't even introduce herself. So I was 50-11 hot. So I left. It's like, girl, if a bride comes up to you, a woman that you do not know, you never met before, and you already, as she said, you traveled far to get to the wedding, and she tells you that you are not within the dress code. It don't matter if she introduced herself. You think it's going to change if she's like, hey, now who are you? Oh, what's the girl's name? I'm going to just call her Ebony. Let's call her Ebony. RN, so maybe she a registered nurse. Hey, Ebony Brown, registered nurse. Oh yeah, I'm Cheryl. And I'm Cheryl. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming, but you are not within the dress code. No, either way, it's going to be insulting to you. Either way, it's going to be insulting to you because you came a long way. And who is she to talk to Ebony Brown, registered nurse, like that? I'm Ebony Brown, registered nurse. I'm 50-11 hot. Ebony Brown, registered nurse, mess around, be at my show this weekend. And if you are, girl, hey, come tell me who you are. Please. That was a part 2A that ain't really helped me none. Except that now I know, like, oh, you attended the ceremony. Yeah. And whatever, it don't matter. One more before I get out of here, and this is about tipping. This is always the should I tip, should I not tip is always going to be like a controversial, whatever. Let's get into it.
Well, confrontation over tipping lands an Evanston restaurant owner in some hot water. And now he's sitting down with our Sarah Maki to say he takes full responsibility, he's sorry, and his door's open to the other person involved.
Hey, bro, what do you want, bro? What do you want? I paid for my food.
Evanston restaurant owner Kenny Cho says he takes full responsibility for his actions in this video, taken Saturday afternoon, telling us he followed a regular into the street, intending to tell him never to come back after leaving without tipping again.
You gonna tell them? I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say. So what are you talking about?
But the tensions escalated, the men yelling at each other for several minutes as the customer walked away from the business.
Have you watched the video?
Yes.
And when you watched it, what did you see there?
Ashamed. I was just ashamed, bringing shame to my wife as a husband, as an owner, at the same time, to my mom and dad.
The video ignited a debate online about tipping and led some people to leave messages on the sidewalk in shock, calling the business Table to Sticks anti-black.
Table to Sticks, how can I help you?
Hey, food, okay?
I'm sorry?
Let me order some food, stupid bitch.
The backlash has forced them to stop taking calls, deactivate their social media, while Yelp has paused any new reviews.
Bro, you about to blow up on social media, bro.
When asked why he didn't tip, the customer told people online, "Oh, I just didn't want to." Cho tells us the customer's brother has since come in, describing their conversation as productive.
I apologized to him and to his family, and I was asking if he can pass this message along to his little brother.
Adding he sent the brother home with the customer's favorite order, a handwritten apology and an offer.
My door's open for you, man. Come on by anytime.
From Evanston, Sarah Maki, CBS News, Chicago.
Sarah, thank you. And they also tell us that he's particularly worried this could hurt other businesses around him, saying he's heard a protest plan for outside his shop Saturday.
What y'all think? Who do you think was reasonable in this story, if anyone? Who do you think was unreasonable, if anyone? I think they both wild. I think the only person that's reasonable is the brother that went in the next day, trying to rectify the situation. First of all, let's talk about the restaurant owner. Tips are extra. Tips don't cover the cost of food. Tips cover the cost of the service provided, but not the food. So if somebody is not dining and dashing, then you should never follow them outside of your restaurant for blocks, asking them why they don't tip or telling them not to come back into your restaurant because they eat there regularly and never tip. The cost of the food covers the cost of operating your tip is in addition. Now, if you need tips, right? And I don't say this callously or naively. This is actually a political issue. For so long, it has been put in America, it is put on the consumer. In no other country is it like this. In America, the burden is put on the consumer for the server to make a living wage. It's a political issue. I don't know I don't know what prop this got to be on. Why this ain't on every ballot in every election. If you are a consumer and got a problem with tipping, or if you are a restaurant and you need help with a living wage, this is a political issue in the United States of America. I'll never forget when I was in London years ago when I had a shaved head. My friend took me to this barbershop. And the guy charged me £5 for this regular basic haircut. £5, which at the time was equivalent to probably close to like $10. I was used to paying $20. I was used to paying, in the States, I was used to paying $20 for this basic ass haircut. And then I would always tip $5. So I was used to going to the barbershop every week and paying $25 in total. So when my friend took me to this barbershop in London and he only cost me £5, which was the equivalent of about $10 at the time, because the dollar was really weak against the British pound, I then tipped him another £5 because I'm like, well, I'll be paying $25 anyway, so this is the equivalent of about $20. And he gave me a really good haircut. As basic as it may have been, he still did a great job. He would not take the £5 tip. He said, no. I charged you what it costs. You paid me what it costs for the service. You already paid for it. Why are you tipping me? I said, well, because you did a good job. He said, yeah, I'm going to do a good job because this is my job and I care about my job. So I'm going to do a good job and you already paid for the job that I did. So why are you paying me like I did 2 jobs? I said, oh, well, in the States, he said, yeah, this ain't the States. The haircut cost £5. I charged you £5. You paid me £5. I said, but you did such a good job, and I just really, I don't mind it. Just let me express my appreciation. I had just started comedy. He said, you're going to be a famous comedian. Let me tell you what. How about you take this £5 that you're trying to give me? How about you sign it? I'm going to put it on my wall. It's not a tip. This is just proof that you was here because one day you're going to be famous. So this was proof that you were here. I said, okay, I could do that. So there's £5 with my autograph somewhere in a barbershop in London. Prayerfully, they're still open. When I left my friend who took me to the barbershop, she didn't know none of this happened. I leave the barbershop. She goes in. I don't know why she went. I don't know. She catches up with me and she say, Zainab, did you give him extra? And I said, yeah, because, like for a tip. She said, no. She said, don't bring that shit over here. That's not what we do. That is not necessary. People make a living wage here. I said, oh, she said, yeah, no. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. No, it's not necessary here. No. It's a political issue. But okay, we find ourselves in the mess that we are in. We find ourselves in the politics that we have. You are owner of a restaurant. That person did not dine and dash. They paid for what they ate. So why you are following them outside, I have no idea. Also, I don't believe that you are apologizing. When she said, are you sorry? Why are you sorry? You say you feel shame to your wife, to your family, to your business, but not for your behavior. Not for whatever made you feel like you could go tell a paying customer, don't come here anymore. No. You need what he paid for. You don't need the tip because you ain't the server. You the owner of the restaurant. I don't know where, Evanston. I was about to say, I don't know where they located. Evanston, which is a suburb of Chicago. A suburb, I believe, north of Chicago. So now what you can do, if you feel like your clientele is the clientele that is not tip, but you need to pay your staff a living wage, and part of that is the tipping, then you either raise those prices on the menu, or you build in a percentage, a mandatory percentage of each check. Hey, just so you know, when they look at the restaurant, hey, just so you know, 8% is going to be added to every check, 10%, whatever, 15%. Whatever you need to supplement is going to be added to every check so that our servers have a living wage. But what you never do, if the person ain't dining and dashing, you don't follow them out. Even if they are dining and dashing, it's probably not safe for you to follow them out. So if this is a person that you know comes there often enough for you to recognize them as a person that always comes there, eats, pays for their food, but never tips, let me tell you what else you have the right to as a business owner. You have the right to refuse service. So next time they come back, you can say, hey, sorry, we don't want your business. If you don't want their business. If you had the gall enough to follow them outside of the restaurant for blocks. And now it's going to be a boycott. They calling your restaurant talking about it's anti-black. And probably the bulk of your business was probably black consumers. All because you had a moment of being severely unreasonable. Following a customer who paid his check. Now let's get to the customer, because you unreasonable too. We live in the United States. We know that when we go to a restaurant to eat, to sit down and eat, now, it'd be very different. I'd have a very different opinion, although this is debatable as well. If you picking up your food to go, you ordered your food, they made your food, you grabbed your food, and you took it to go, that's a whole different conversation. Even some people feel like, well, that's a whole different conversation. If you go to that restaurant and you sit down, you are aware that there is an expectation, a reasonable expectation, because they rely on the server, not the restaurant, but the server relies on you tipping for this to be a meaningful employment for them. So now here's your options. You can go to the restaurant and you can get your food to go. Or I think that there's something to said about the human experience. Hey, I know I come in here every week and I eat, and I appreciate, that I'm able to eat here. And I just want you to know you give me great service, but I just don't have the money to whatchamacallit. I personally and humbly think, get your stuff to go. But maybe you ain't got nowhere to eat that stuff. Maybe you don't want to sit on the street and eat it. I don't know. Is there $1 extra that you have? Can you meet them halfway? But for him to, here's why I have a problem with this customer. You go to this restaurant consistently, you a regular and you never tip. But you willing to put them on, you willing to make a video that will clearly negatively affect this. Do you like this restaurant? Clearly you do, because you patronize them regularly. So if you like nobody that I like do I try to treat bad. There ain't no coffee shop that I feel like I don't know if I told y'all this, or maybe I talked about it on a different show, but I had a matcha shop that I loved in my neighborhood. Loved. I was devastated when I found out that they closed. I found out a month after, so I couldn't even go buy 10 matchas to tell them goodbye, because it was during Ramadan when they closed, like a year or two Ramadan to go when they closed. So yeah, I wasn't having no coffee, no matcha, no nothing during the day. So I found out after they was the first place I wanted to go. They was the first business that I wanted to patronize when I could consume food and beverage when the sun was up, and I went there. I went there either on the Eid or the day after and was like, ooh, I'm about to get my matcha. I'm about to get my strawberry matcha. And they had closed for business at some point during Ramadan, and I did not know. I was so devastated that I sent them, I went and searched for them on social media and sent them a long message. I'm not even sure if this page is even active still, but oh my God, I'm so sorry that y'all going. Please let me know if y'all are able to open up. If you got a matcha truck, let me know. I'll come to you. Let me know what it is, because maybe I'll be a part of a production and I can bring like a coffee or a matcha truck to the production one day. I'd love it. I'd love it to be y'all. If you happen to open up somewhere else, please let me know. I'd love to patronize you wherever you go, because it's a business that I like. I like their stuff. So why would I want to put them out? Why would I want something that shows them in a negative light if transactionally they've been showing up on the other side of this transaction? I show up and I buy matcha, and let me tell you, these matchas wasn't cheap. I think I did a video on my social media, because at the time I had to drink matcha. I couldn't drink coffee because I couldn't drink coffee. My body couldn't take the coffee, so I had switched to matcha. And I had made a video like, y'all, this matcha is so good. If it wasn't so expensive, I would have it multiple times a day. So if you're patronizing a business regularly, I'm imagining that you like that business. So why are you trying to do something that disservices the business? And then go and post the video when everybody watched the video and was like, but how you ain't tip? And you just said, just because you ain't want to, that's it. There ain't that, come on. That's corny. Just because you ain't want to. Not like I wanted to tip, but I ain't have it. That's different. But you ain't want to, ha, 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 ha. That's callous. That's unreasonable. Especially to a business that you patronize regularly, which means you like their food. Which means this should be a reciprocal relationship. Y'all are both getting something out of it. They are feeding you, and you are patronizing them. Their business. So how you out here like, what he's doing is wow. Following you out the restaurant, talk about you never tip, you never tip. That's the moment to have a human moment. To be reasonable, have a human moment. Hey. I'm videoing you because I don't know how this is going to go. I'm videoing you, but I patronize your business because I like it, and unfortunately, I don't have the means to I'm sorry about that. But we can have conversations as men. We can get to a solution. You could tell me why it is that you decided to follow me. And this video may never see the light of day depending on how this conversation goes. But I'm going to be reasonable and give you an opportunity to fix what you're doing right now. Because you following me out here, that's going to make this video go. But let's talk, like it forces both people. Both people got to be reasonable. And for me, both of y'all was completely unreasonable in this. What y'all think? I was supposed to do the Ask Z, but I don't have the time. This, I'm talking about, I was like, you know what? This episode going to be different. This going to be short. This ended up being long, too long. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to delay the Ask Z yet again. Thank you so much for writing in. But I got to go, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of I'm Reasonable. Stay reasonable until I see y'all again, okay? Bye.